Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, October 18th through Sunday, October 24th. There's only two major aspects this week, okay? The first is on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra trines Jupiter in Aquarius, and on Friday, October 22nd, Mars in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn, and on the 23rd the Sun moves into Scorpio. So both of these aspects are from Mars in Libra, and the first one is really nice, this trine to Jupiter. Okay, I'll get right to it. Okay, so for Aries, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 7th house trines Jupiter transiting in your 11th house of Aquarius. So, you know, having Mars in your opposite sign of Libra has been a little bit aggravating, maybe at the least. People acting a little bit aggressively towards you, kind of pushy. Maybe even somebody deliberately pushing your buttons. But it could have all been for possibly a reason, okay? Maybe someone was trying to prompt you into some kind of action. You know, the 7th house is your house of partnerships. Romantic or business or even just close friends. It's your close relationships. So maybe someone was trying to prompt you to make some kind of move. Okay, your 11th house where you have Jupiter right now along with Saturn. But this is a nice trine to Jupiter. Okay, and your 11th house is your most sociable house. It's social media, but it's your friends and acquaintances, where you would normally go to hang out, any kind of group or organization that you belong to, and it's also your dreams, hopes, and wishes. So it looks like you are having a partner or a close friend help you pursue, I would have to say, a goal, a dream, hope, or wish of some kind or other. And it could be something that you have been working on, that you're kind of like releasing on social media even. It could be internet related, even a podcast maybe of some kind, but you're having help or the okay of, you know, if it is a business partner, maybe you are doing something solo. You're still part of the partnership, but you're wanting to branch out on your own or something like that, and you're getting like their blessing, if not even their help. Okay, so to me it looks like it's a dream come true. That's what's happening on this day, or the possibility of, or maybe you are just taking the first steps, whatever. But it's a wonderful transit. Okay, on Friday, October 22nd, Mars, again, in your 7th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 10th house of Capricorn. So, your 10th house is your career, okay, your outer persona, how the public perceives you, how they speak about you and even write about you publicly. So it's your most public house. It's how you're known by professional and even personal reputation. So this little square, you know, to Pluto in your 10th house just means that maybe there is someone possibly thinking you're getting ahead too quickly or whatever in your position, in your career. Maybe you're making some kind of move where you seem like you're power hungry or something like that, you know. Somebody could just be pulling you aside, that's all. Just trying to bring you back down to earth maybe, or just prevent you from doing something that would appear to the public to be kind of obnoxiously aggressive. Okay, and it could be just something that even like a statement you may make, even on social media. You may come off like, I don't know, like a jerk. Okay, so for Taurus, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 6th house trines Jupiter transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius. So your 6th house is the kind of work you do, the workplace, your co-workers. Your 10th house is your career, okay, your livelihood. Also your reputation, though, how you're known by reputation personally and professionally. So, but I'm going to have to say this is professional because, you know, the trine is from your 6th house of the workplace. So obviously you've done something there that is giving you a boost up the career ladder, I would have to say. If you haven't had a promotion by now, I've been talking about this, you know, because Jupiter here in your 10th house usually denotes a promotion of some kind or other. If it's not in your career, or if you're retired or something like that, or if you don't work at all, it's in your status, your personal status, you know, like the public views you like you're one up the social ladder, let's put it that way. So this is the time that I would have to say that work that you've done is giving you a promotion of some kind. If that's not it, it's in the talking stage, or you have caught the attention of your company or your boss, or if you're self-employed, a very prestigious client wants you to do their business, their work, you know, whatever. Something or other is going on here in your career, in your professional life, but it could also be going on in your personal life. So, you know, it would just be that you are known by reputation, how people know you personally by reputation. So, there people are discussing you for some reason or other, but it's all good. Okay, on Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your 6th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 9th house of Capricorn. So we're back to the workplace again, okay? And the 9th house is many, many things, but it's the house of knowledge, higher learning. It's your opinions based on usually fact, okay? But it's your spiritual and religious beliefs, publishing, media, big communication and travel house. But I would have to say it's work related, and you are, and it's probably not something new. There's more than likely a co-worker or a boss that stands in your way sometimes because they feel that maybe you come off like a know-it-all, you know, or you know what you're doing, and so you try to stop, let's say, like your co-workers or even a superior from doing something that you believe is incorrect. You know, so this is like one of those times where someone is either not listening to you, or, you know, you are trying to correct people, more or less, the people you work with, or even yourself, or you may even decide that you're going to do a job a certain way, you know, and everybody else is doing it the way they were told, but you know differently. And this also, if you're self-employed, is in regards to a client. A client may say they want something done this way or that way, even though you know it's not going to work. Okay, whether you do it or not, the way they want it, that's up to you. That's something you'd have to discuss with them. But you know you're right. Okay. For Gemini, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 5th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So very, very nice aspect here for fun. You know, you have Mars in your 5th house of fun and romance, creativity, gambling, children, any kind of sports or entertainment, any kind of entertainment, period. Okay, it's dancing, it's skating, you know, running, riding bikes, something like that. Something very active, actually, because having Mars here does make you physically active. So you may be taking up some kind of sport or a game of some kind, whatever. But this is the house of fun, trine to your 9th house of big-time travel and communication. And since Jupiter's been here, Jupiter is the natural ruler of the 9th house. I've mentioned this many, many times that when Jupiter is here, it's usually when you take that trip of a lifetime, one that you've always dreamed of, you know, something like that. So I would have to say that, you know, travel could not be ruled out right now. You may actually be on a trip, or going on a trip that you have planned. I don't think it's very spontaneous. It's something that you've been wanting to do, but it's in order to do fun, have fun. You're either going to like an amusement place or park or something like Disneyland, you know, whatever, something like that, or it could be Vegas, I'd have to say, at a casino type gambling place, something or other, or it could even be like pseudo intellectual, educational. You know, you have that facade that like you're going because you want to learn this or that, but really you're going for fun. So there's something either about this place that is fun on the side, or there's something nearby that is fun. So once you're doing your educational whatever kind of trip, you'll be spending time at some other place, some clubs or something, maybe even a famous club or something, whatever. But you know, the ninth house is many, many things. It doesn't necessarily have to be travel, but you could have finished or even are beginning a creative project with someone who lives at a distance. Maybe someone is even coming to visit you. Maybe it's something like that. Or the long distance romance that you've been having is finally where you're going to meet. Or if you're not meeting at this time, you are making plans to meet in face to face, you know, instead of just doing FaceTime, you know, on the internet or something. So all kinds of really, really good things here. In fact, as far as higher knowledge goes, you could even be taking a class right now for like some form of art. Okay, could be online, could be in person, but yeah, you could be learning film or painting or writing, something or other. Okay, so on Friday, October 22nd, Mars in this very same place in your 5th house in Libra squares Pluto transiting in your 8th house of Capricorn. So these planets have been squaring this 8th house, you know, all month more or less. And so it's just back to 8th house is money. It's other people's resources and money. It's a partner's resources or money, but it's money coming to you through means other than earning it. So it's like an insurance payout, legal settlement, refund, increase in credit, even bank loans, something like that, and inheritance and legacies. But sometimes it looks like maybe you might want to borrow money in order to do something fun. Okay, could be again for this trip or whatever, or you would like to borrow something. It doesn't have to be money. Okay, something that someone has, or maybe you need their help in some way or other. Maybe you need them to do something for you, but it's, you know, it's all related to this 5th house here of having fun or moving forward on a romance or a creative project or something or other. Or you could just gamble, okay, and run out of money and just ask somebody to lend you some. Okay. For Cancer, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 4th house trines Jupiter transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. So, you know, all these planets have been in Libra, you know, since the beginning of the month, end of September or whatever, in your 4th house of your home where you actually live, your family, the people you live with, even if it's a roommate or you just live by yourself, but it's also your past and your childhood and your personal life, more or less. So having Mars here means that you're making a lot of physical changes to like where you live. Okay, like even if it's remodeling of some kind or getting rid of somebody that you live with, or some kind of living arrangement or conditions that you can't put up with anymore. Well, anyways, this very nice trine to Jupiter in your 8th house of other people's resources and money means that very thing is more than likely being made available to you. Someone else's resources. Maybe someone is even... The 8th house is the house of legacies and inheritances. And I've mentioned before many times that you're more than likely on the receiving end at this time of some kind of heirloom or something, or if it could be cold hard cash, you know, coming to you through an inheritance of some kind. But it could be something very nice for your home. It could be like a pretty big deal too. Okay, it could even be though property. Somebody could be leaving you property, or you're being made aware of that you may even share property with someone else that you had no idea your name was on. Okay, so or this could be the time that somebody does put your name on property. Okay, sometimes it makes it legally, sometimes it makes it a lot easier. So if it's parents putting a child's name on the property, sometimes it helps. Well, you know, you just have to figure out if that's a good thing or bad thing. You know, you have to figure out what kind of kids you have, you know, because they could be throwing you out in the street for all you know, right? Because that property's theirs. But they would just be added. You would just add it. You can get a deed where your name's still on the deed, but when you pass away, it goes to the whomever. Okay, be sure to do that just in case. On Friday, October 22nd, Mars in Libra again in your 4th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 7th house of Capricorn. So we're back to the whole, you know, because this keeps happening. As long as these planets are in Libra, they're going to square Pluto in your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. And, you know, it's usually something possibly that you have to talk over with, let's say, like a spouse. Okay, partners are business, romantic, or close friend. So it could even be someone that you live with, that some kind of change that you want to make. It could be a pretty big deal, so you have to kind of like discuss it with them, and or let them be aware of the changes you're going to make, whether they like it or not, or something like that. You know, so somebody could be having like a little bit of a discussion with you on any kind of change, not just within your home, but even in your personal life, or something to do with your family. You know, in fact, your close friend or partner, whatever, whoever this is, could, you know, prompt you to do something a little different with your family that maybe they're not going to like. Okay, so your partner is, in a way, like helping you. Okay, even though it's something that's not going to be very much fun. So, for Leo, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 3rd house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. Very, very nice aspect. Okay, 3rd house is like your everyday life, but you know, it's a big communication and travel house. But having Mars here, right now, Mars is a physically active planet, so I'd have to say you're doing an awful lot of running around. Even if you're not able to do something like that right now, you are still in contact, little flea or something, with a lot of people, even if it's just the people in your neighborhood. But very nice trine to your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. Okay, having Jupiter here should have brought at least one new person into your life that you could either become a close friend with even. But this is the house of like romantic partnerships and business though also. So this kind of like seals the deal in a way. 3rd house is also contracts and the written word. 7th house is like legal matters, lawyers, things like that, and arrangements and agreements. You know, so maybe you are actually signing on the dotted line right now with someone, or agreeing to some kind of an arrangement with someone. If it is a romantic relationship, this could be when, you know, you say I do, you know, that you decide to, if not get married, engaged, or some kind of living arrangement, moving in together or something like that. If it's business related, again, we're back to, you know, some kind of agreement between the two of you, even if it's a handshake deal, you know. Not even just two people, could be you and like a larger business or something. And as far as a new friend goes, or even an old friend, you could have just some kind of arrangement or agreement that really, really works out for the best for like both of you. Okay. Now on Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in your 3rd house in Libra squares Pluto, transiting in your 6th house of Capricorn. So, you know, Pluto's been in your 6th house of the workplace. Okay, the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers. It's also the house of health, though. And this is where your life has changed in some way or other. It seems like it could have been gradually, but there were so many planets here at one time transiting along with this Pluto, that it could be a lot of different things. So right now, maybe the workplace isn't something that you have to consider. It's your health. Not that it's bad or anything. In fact, you could be doing something right now. It could be maybe a little bit physically painful for you to do, like exercise, a part of, let's say, like your legs, arms, something, some part of your body that hurts. But this may be the only way to get it back to where it's supposed to be. But you may have either been unaware of that, or maybe whomever you've gone to, a physician or whoever, for you know, some kind of diagnosis or whatever. Maybe they didn't suggest that, or maybe they did, but it was just too painful for you. So it looks to me like you're going to have to go back to whatever was first told to you by a physician, if you didn't do it, okay? So we'll go back to the workplace, though, just in case this is work-related. Having Pluto in your 6th house means everybody there wants to be the boss, okay, including you even. But you may have to deal with, like, a coworker who's been there for years and years, so they have, like, seniority or somewhat seniority, even though they probably don't do very much, you know, but they take a lot of credit. And they really try to throw their weight around, you know. So this is kind of like one of those times. But Mars being the ego planet and the 3rd house being big communication planet, I believe that you'll be able to put this person in their place. Maybe even with just a look, you know. Maybe you don't even have to say anything. Maybe they already know ahead of time not to even try to pull whatever it is that they may think that they're going to do. You know, because they're used to you by now. So I would have to say that it could just be somebody at work trying to act up. Okay. For Virgo, let's see here. On Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 2nd house trines Jupiter transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. So with all these planets being in Libra in your 2nd house of earned income, how you earn your money from work that you do, okay, with a nice trine to the 6th house of the workplace and the kind of work that you do, okay, just means that, you know, obviously there's something going on here. Having Jupiter in your 6th house brought in, like, some different way of doing your job that is much better than you normally do it. It could have even brought in a person that took over, picked up some of the slack that's so you and your coworkers even didn't have to do anymore. But you know, it's bringing in more money. That's what Mars does in the 2nd house. It brings in an increase in income or a new source of income. So this could be both of those things. Maybe you have some kind of side job or side venture that you have, a personal venture that you have that is starting to pay off, you know, but this really enhances it in some way. In fact, if you are self-employed, your list of clients should expand in some way or other. On Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your 2nd house squares Pluto transiting in your 5th house of Capricorn. And this is back to the same thing that's been going on all month, which is your 5th house is your house of fun and romance, gambling, children, creativity, any kind of entertainment. Okay, having Pluto here for as long as it's been means that your idea of all these things, fun and romance and all that, has altered just a little bit, kind of gradually. But you may be like wanting to do something that you've had your heart set on, okay? And, you know, wondering, just again, the 2nd house of income, maybe not wanting to spend the money. But I believe that you will. You know, these other planets here, Sun and Mercury and all that, you know, in the 2nd house in Libra, they made you feel that now I don't want to spend the money to do that. But Mars may be a different story, because physically, if you're doing something, it may actually be physically doing something fun may actually be like really good for you, you know, so it's worth spending the money. If you are doing something like dancing or skiing or uh, biking somewhere or other, this is actually good exercise for you. Or if you are, I don't know, involved in something that you benefit in some way, even though it's fun. So it's worth spending the money. So I wouldn't feel very bad about doing something like that. Okay, for Libra, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in your first house in Libra trines Jupiter transiting in your fifth house of Aquarius. So this is, your fifth house is your house of romance and speculation and fun and creativity, children, but it's any kind of amusement or anything that's fun. This is the house of fun. And having Jupiter here, along with Saturn, though, should have put, like, maybe this area of your life, especially in the romance department, was getting a little dull, okay, or boring. But now that Jupiter moved here in December of last year, it's perked up a little bit, or at least evened out. You know, at least now maybe you guys can go somewhere different. You don't have to go to the same place all the time, or you're always doing the same thing for entertainment or for fun or whatever. It's predictable, got too predictable. But with Jupiter here to spice it up, that's what should have happened anyways. However, you could have gone a long time without any kind of romance, and then Jupiter came along and brought, opened a whole like new world up for you. You brought along new people into your life for that very thing, even if it was just for fun, right? So that just and continues now. Having Mars in your first house makes you a little bit more forward or aggressive, and that's like not two words that I would ever use for Libra, because they let things come to them. You know, you usually don't make the first move, but I believe now this is one of those times, or rare times, that you will, because things are going so well in this area, or at least you feel that, you know, now would be the right time to make that kind of move. So if you were ever going to pursue anyone, or even, let's say, like a creative project, or gamble, or, you know, do something or other that takes a little bit of guts to do, this would be the day to do it. Okay, on Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your first house squares Pluto transiting in your fourth house of Capricorn. So while you're feeling a little ballsy there, you know, you might as well make a few changes around your home. Okay, that's what the fourth house is. It's your home and your family, people you live with, even if it's just a roommate. It's your past and your childhood, but it's your personal life too. Okay, so if there were any changes that you wanted to make, living arrangement or just family, something like that, not even your immediate family, it could be just any kind of relatives or anything like that, any kind of changes that you would like to make, this would be the day to do it, even though it's not going to go very smoothly. But you're feeling, you know, a little bit bold right now, so this would be the day to do something like that. At least I feel that way. Okay. So for Scorpio, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 12th house trines Jupiter transiting in your fourth house of Aquarius. So we've got all this stuff happening behind the scenes where you have Libra. Okay, all these planets are in Libra right now, and this 12th house is the house of secrets, confidences, actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes. And I would have to say this is one of those times, with Mars here being the active planet and your ruling planet, by the way, doing something to ensure your stability possibly within the home. Okay, fourth house is your home, where you actually live, and the property surrounding it. It's your family and the people you live with, like a roommate, something like that. It's your personal life, though, too. Okay, and it's your past and your childhood. 12th house is also your past. Okay, so maybe there's something, you know, even going on with your family that you were trying to find out, you know, a big secret or something, or what's the big deal, or you've done something like to, let's say, to maybe you bought land or bought a relative's property, or maybe something with deeds, land deeds or a deed to a house or something. Maybe you put someone's name on, or your name has been put on someone's deed or something, or maybe estate of some kind. Maybe you're being made the executor of someone's will, or vice versa. There could be something going on in secret with you and your family or relatives that you're benefiting from. Okay, so maybe all the other relatives are, they're not supposed to know about it. It's none of their business, because they'd probably put up a big fuss, but what's done is done. Okay, if anything else, you could be buying property or doing something to your home, or making plans to, let's say, even get rid of somebody that's there. If you do have, let's say, like an obnoxious roommate or something or other, okay? Because here you have Jupiter, but you also have Saturn at the same time. So there's something there that may need fixed, and it could be a person, okay? Or an arrangement of some kind, living arrangement that isn't working out the way you want it to, okay? On Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your 12th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 3rd house of Capricorn. So we're back to, secrets again here. And your 3rd house, where you have Pluto, is your everyday life, more or less. It's your neighborhood and your neighbors, your siblings, cousins, big communication and travel house. And this is regular postal mail, even email, voicemail, text message, something like that. Maybe you are inquiring the whole time that all these planets are in Libra, especially that Mercury being there and in retrograde motion, but about ready to go on the 18th, actually. On Monday it goes direct. So maybe you were trying to find out something a little bit more. Maybe you already knew something, but you needed to know the exact details. And you weren't able to find out everything, but you're prying, or whatever it is that you may be doing. Maybe somebody is trying to get you to stop inquiring, or stop some kind of move maybe that you're going to make. But that's all. It doesn't mean that you're going to do that. It just means that maybe somebody may tell you about it or have something to say about it. But it really doesn't matter, because whatever it is that you're doing is more than likely something you needed to know or do anyway. So, for Sagittarius, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 11th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 3rd house in Aquarius. Very nice transit, no matter where it's happening in your chart, but having Mars in your 11th house of social media, your friends, acquaintances, where you would normally go to hang out, the group or your gang of friends or whatever, any kind of organization that you belong to, and it's your house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. Okay, so having Mars here means that you're pretty active right now in this area, even if you're not like out physically with your friends. You're maybe a little bit more in touch with them, especially having Mercury here in retrograde motion, turning direct actually on Monday the 18th. So people from your past could be coming back into your life, old friends and stuff like that. Very nice trine to your 3rd house, where you have Jupiter, another social media house. I have to mention, did I? 11th house is also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. So if you were in the middle of, let's say, like doing a website or something you were going to upload to the internet, okay, or any kind of, let's say, like YouTube or podcast or something like that. So looks like this is the day that either you're uploading everything or presenting it, publishing it online finally, or you're getting feedback at this time. Could be one of those things, or could be just like some kind of get-together with your friends. It could be travel. 3rd house is big travel and communications house. So maybe you're hearing from, let's say, like an old friend or a group of friends, or you are all getting together for some kind of, let's say, this is typical class reunion, just because third house is like your classmates from like middle school, not middle school, grade school even, grade school up through middle school, high school, okay? Ninth house is university and college, okay? So something like that. This is either hearing from or getting together with, I would have to say, old friends, but it could be just people you haven't seen for a while. Maybe you haven't been out at all. Okay, so something like that, or some kind of communication that's pretty important, or good news of some kind. On Friday, October 22nd, Mars in Libra in your 11th house squares Pluto, transiting in your second house of Capricorn. So I've mentioned this I don't know how many times, because the Sun and Mercury and Venus was even here. In your 11th house, that maybe you don't, your second house is earned income. It's how you earn your money, and it's just money, period, right? So I've mentioned that maybe you don't want to spend the money that you would have to spend, let's say, to do something with your friends, or to, let's say, pay dues or something on a group or organization that you would like to belong to, or maybe you already belong to them, but your dues have come due. Dues have come due. Anyways, Mars, though, I think this is going to be different, because Mars is pretty important here. It's a very action, like physically active planet. I believe that there's something you would really, really like to do, and it's worth spending the money on. So that's something you would have to take into consideration on this date, Friday, October 22nd, that it might be a good idea to spend that money after all. Okay. So for Capricorn, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 10th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your second house of Aquarius. So this is big time, like promotion or new position, or some kind of an award maybe that you're getting. Mars in your 10th house of career and your public life, your how you're known by reputation, professionally and personally, but it's like more or less your livelihood. It's your most public house. If you are on social media, this is when people would be talking about you and discussing you. Your second house, where you have Aquarius and Jupiter and Saturn transiting right now, is your house of income. It's earned money. It's how you earn your money. So obviously, you know, the 10th house being your career means that you're getting some kind of boost upwards on the ladder of success here, with this very nice trine in your 10th house of career. You are, your reputation is preceding you in some way or other, but it's bringing in more money, or more offers for work even, especially if you are self-employed. This would be a time where you would get some really nice, prestigious kind of clients or something like that. But it's increasing whatever it is that you do. Okay, even if you're retired, there's still something about your reputation that is bringing you in more money, okay, or a new source of income. On Friday, October 22nd, Mars in Libra in your 10th house squares Pluto, transiting in your first house of Capricorn. And all this is I don't think it's a very big deal, okay? There's always going to be ruffled feathers somewhere along the way in your career, with someone that it could be, you know, just envious even of you, that you've moved ahead, or done something or other where you are better off than them, okay, or better off than you were before even. But a square from your 10th house to your first house just means that your position, as far as your career goes, may like put your personality may have something to do with a little bit about your career, maybe your personality or certain things about you may be getting in the way just a little bit. Maybe you don't want to compromise on certain things, or maybe that's the way people are seeing you, that you're, and that's not really true. You know, there are some things that maybe you can compromise on, and others that really aren't worth it, that you would never compromise on. So it's usually something like that, like someone you work with, or if you do work for another company, a higher up may see you as being a little bit pushy, or you know, unable to work with other people or something like that because you want everything done your way. But it's, you know, I don't really think it's a very big deal, and it might not even necessarily be true. Okay, for Aquarius, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 9th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 1st house of Aquarius. So very nice trine from your 9th house of big-time travel. Travel and communications house, and I've mentioned this many times, having Jupiter in your 1st house does open up all kinds of opportunities to expand your life in one way or other, and I would have to say that travel is definitely on your agenda if you haven't taken that trip that you've always wanted. It's like the trip of a lifetime. It's a dream journey or of some kind or other. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be an actual physical trip. You could be taking some kind of, you know, class even, or attending some kind of, even if it's just online, but you could actually physically be in a classroom, learning something that you've always really wanted to know. You could even be graduating from some kind of class right now. Also, though, this is a media and publishing house, okay? This is also the house of legal matters, but it's a big internet house, too. So, I mean, you, I would have to say, are totally associated with the internet, okay? So something that you've been doing, I would think, is like either getting off the ground. It's you finally have uploaded your website, or something that you're doing online. You know, maybe you opened a store, you know, or you have a podcast or a YouTube channel, or if you are in a band, you know, music or something or other of some kind, you know, you've created the ability to download and upload and whatever, you know. I would have to say it's something like that. You know, if not as far as legal matters go, I'd have to say it's good news. Some kind of movement finally in something that may have been stalled, you know, that just wasn't going anywhere. I would have to say that this would be good news, maybe in regards to that. Or anything. The 9th house, again, is long distance communications and travel. So maybe someone is coming to visit you, or you are going to hear from someone who either lives at a distance or even in another country. Okay. On Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your 9th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 12th house of Capricorn. And this has been going on like since the Sun and Mercury and all these other planets have been in Libra in your 9th house. I've mentioned that, you know, your 9th house is your opinions and even your philosophy on life and your spiritual, religious beliefs, but a lot of your opinions based on your background, you know, factual information that you believe, you know, or that you know is true, whatever. So a lot of times you're dealing with someone, I always say that you can't get away from, which is either somebody you work with possibly, or someone you're related to, could even be related to through marriage. Okay, so sometimes these people bait you, you know, they're looking for a good argument, you know, so they try to engage you in conversation or something like that. So normally I say that a lot of times you know, you don't really take the bait, or you let them slide, but secretly in your mind you're thinking of what an asshole, you know. Something like that, okay? And that's because, like I said, the sun and all this here. But you know what? Mars is here right now, and that's a little bit a completely different story. Mars is the ego planet, okay? It's the me planet. And wherever it's transiting, you know, you do things that need to be changed or done or fixed up in some way or other. So this could possibly be one of those times where you tell somebody a thing or two, you know, that they could even be surprised by it. But and you won't even fully come out with everything, because this is a square to Pluto in your 12th house of secrets. Okay, so you secretly think, whoever it is that you're dealing with, that they're just like the biggest, stupidest jerk, right? So you're never going to really come out and say something like that, even though you'd like to. But this is a time where if you have any kind of debate going on with anybody, I mean, this could even be in regards to, let's say, like a legal matter, you know, they're going to have to back down, because you're able to back everything that you're saying with facts. You know, it's not even like just your opinion. You're able to point out the flaws in their argument. Okay. For Pisces, on Tuesday, October 19th, Mars in Libra in your 8th house trines Jupiter transiting in your 12th house of Aquarius. So this is very, very nice transit. I've mentioned before, I think, because, you know, the Sun and Mercury and other planets have been here in Libra, 8th house being other people's resources and money, the house of legacies and inheritances, and any kind of financial institution like a bank or credit card company. Having Mars here, though, means that, you know, it's jointly held property, though, also, okay? Even though it's someone else's property, it is actually property that you may own with someone else. You may, you know, have even lent something to someone, you know, and you would like it back, right? You never just, you know, you weren't going to give it away, right? It was just like a loan or something like that. So right now you could be trying to get things back that belong to you, or money even that belongs to you, or you could even be given something right now. And I'd have to say money, but it could be anything. You know, resources are anything. It could be something really nice that you've always liked or wanted, that someone knows that, you know, that they have and they want you to have it. Or it could be help of some kind even, because people are also resources. But if you receive any kind of money on this day or something, or any kind of arrangement that could even be financial arrangement with someone, I believe it's going to be a secret, okay? Because this is a trine to your 12th house where you have Jupiter and Saturn right now. So there might be a reason that you have to keep this secret, because if somebody knows that you have this money, or you have the ability to do this or that because someone gave you something, they might try to talk you into using it for them, or using it, period. You know what I mean? It's a shame. It is. It's a real shame that when you have something nice going for you, somebody else wants to use it too. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. So that's a good reason. That's a good thing. Keep it to yourself. Not everybody needs to know that you've gotten something pretty nice, you know, but it's for you. That's why you got it, right? It's just for you. Okay, on Friday, October 22nd, Mars again in Libra in your 8th house squares Pluto transiting in your 11th house of Capricorn. So we're back again to, I've mentioned before, like I said, these planets already being in Libra, that maybe you don't want to spend money on doing something or other with your friends. Okay, your 11th house is your friends and acquaintances, where you would normally go to hang out. It's your most sociable house. It's even social media. But it's any kind of group or organization that you belong to. But that does really include like your friends. And having Pluto here for as long as it has been, it means that your group of friends have changed over the years. In fact, you may have become like a little bit more selective or whatever, in what kind of people you attract anymore. Or there could be, let's say, like a person in your group of friends, or maybe even like old friends, that has become very pushy and domineering and whatever. Okay, that's what Pluto does. It wields power of some kind or other, either yours or someone else's. So something like that, could have, changed your mind about doing a lot of things with people. But however, this is also like attending some kind of event, like a live show, going to a club to see a band or something like that. And having Mars here instead of the Sun and Mercury in your 8th house, when we used those as the square, we were like, nah, I ain't gonna spend that money. But with Mars here, yeah, you're going to. You deserve it, because that's what Mars does. It's the ego planet. It's the me planet, and you're like L'Oreal. You're worth it, right? So you're gonna spend that money on whatever kind of fun that you had planned on doing. Okay. So I hope everyone enjoyed their astrological forecast for this week. Be sure to check out my monthly forecast. Subscribe and share and like this video. And I want to thank everyone for all your support. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. See you next week. Goodbye.